Okay, perfect. So, good evening to one and all. If you can hear me, give me a confirmation in the chat section, please. If you guys can hear me, give me a confirmation in the chat section, please. Perfect. So, good evening to one and all. So, how are you guys? How are you all? How was the day? Okay, that's nice. Awesome. Perfect. Excellent. Good. Okay, so welcome to day 2 for the bootcamp of CNN and computer vision. Okay, so yesterday we have started out with the Python, right? So now we are going to carry forward with the same topic. Today we are going to discuss the data structures in Python. Then we're going to move towards the loops part, and before that we are going to cover the conditional statement. Okay, are you guys ready for that? Are you guys ready for that? Give me a confirmation, yes or no. Perfect. And one more thing, all this session are recorded. Okay, if you want to watch the session or the earlier session or the past session, you can go and in the Shape AI playlist you can access that. Okay, and second of all, from today onwards, the attendance link will be shared with you. Okay, and I've already mentioned that in order to get the certificate, in order to be eligible for the certificate, you have to follow two criteria. Okay, the first criteria will be to get 100% attendance. Okay, and second criteria will be to submit the project that I will be giving you on the last day, that means on the 7th day. Okay, is this clear? Is this clear? Okay, yes or no? Perfect. Okay, so without any further ado, let's start with our today's session. So we are done with day 1. Okay, we are done with day 1. Now we are going to start with the day 2. Okay, let's move on. We are going to start with data structures, and not only for the data structures. If I speak for data structures, you all may say that we have the linked list and all that, we have the data structure, right? But we are more interested in knowing of Python data structure. Python data structure. Yes, Python do have some data structures. Okay, first of all, tell me, just leave out the term Python. Tell me, what does this term data structure means? Okay, over here also, if you see carefully, we are dealing with the term data, right? Yesterday we were dealing with a term data type, where we are talking about the type of a data. Now we are going towards the structuring of the data. Everything that we deals with is a kind of data. Okay, now tell me in your own language, what do you understand by this term data structure? What do you think when I say the term data structure? What do you think? What is this data structure? Okay, don't afraid of getting right or wrong. Just tell me, what do you think about that? Storing and arrangement of data. Okay, there's one more keyword. There's one more keyword. Storing is good, arrangement is good. There's one more keyword that you have to mention. Organizing. Exactly, storing and organizing. Okay, storing and organizing. This data structure means it is a way. Okay, it is a way how you structure a data, how you organize the data, right? It's like, suppose you there's a lot of data that it came in, right? Now you have to find out a certain way in which you can organize, or in which you can arrange this data or store this data, so that it will going to work out efficiently. It will going to work out efficiently, right? So in that manner, we have the Python data structure itself. Okay, so what happened that yesterday we have discussed about the variables, if you remember, right? Suppose this is a variable, this is the assignment operator, and I have assigned hello. Okay, this hello is a string, or you can say this is a value. Okay, and this value is been assigned. Why assigned? Because we are using this equal to sign. Okay, a single equal to sign means the assignment, right? We are assigning it to a variable. Where now, suppose over here, can I store 2 3 strings in a single variable? Can I store 2 or 3 strings in a single variable? Like I mean that, can I store this one word like this? Can I do this? Can I store 2 string, or 1 or 2 or more multiple string in a single variable? Can I do this? Yes or no? Can I do this? I can't. I can't, exactly, right? I cannot do this, right? I can only assign a single value to a single variable. I cannot assign multiple value to a single variable, right? So now if I want to organize the data, suppose I made another, for this world, I have to make another variable. For this world, I have to make another variable, suppose var1. Okay, again the same thing, I want to make another variable var2, suppose it is today. Okay, and so on and so forth. Now if you see the pattern, that my objective was that I want to store all of these values in a single form, and all the assignment will be with the single variable. Okay, so that means that after 10,000 lines of code, or 1 lakhs of code, I want to reuse a certain point. So I have to recall which variable did I have saved this today, which variable did I have saved this world and hello and so that, right? Now we are going to see the more methods of data structures, that how we can easily tackle this situation. Okay, so in the data structure, the first data structure that we are going to study about will be the list. Okay, will be the list. Okay, it is a simple way. Okay, what happened, let me clear this. Okay, what happened that a week ago, I was going out and my mom told me that while returning back to home, kindly purchase some stuffs and bring it to home. So she was telling and telling. I thought that okay, it's better to make a list, right? We all make a list, right? We all make a list. So it starts like this. She told me that while coming back, just have some potatoes. Okay. Then she told me that okay, after potatoes, have some apples. Okay, then take some soap as well. Okay, so I'm making a list over here, right? This is a general list that we human makes, right? Potatoes, apples and soaps, and suppose some cookies. We have some cookies with us. We have some toothpaste, let's say. Okay, any random item, and last is some chips. Okay, so what happened that she told me to all these items, that while returning back to home you have to purchase all these items. So what I did, I made a list. This is a list. Yes or no? This is a kind of list. Isn't this looking like a list? Oh, sorry, let me remove this. Okay, isn't this looking like a kind of list? Yes or no? Give me a confirmation. If the screen is not clearly visible, kindly update or upgrade your resolution, please. Okay, it will definitely going to help you out. Perfect. Okay, yes, right, it is looking like a list. Now I want to convert this list. This is a human list, okay, that we generally make. Now I am going to make this list a Python list. I'm going to make this list a Python list. Okay, and it is very easy to do that. That means, see, let me copy this, paste it over here. Okay, let me make another thing that is a Python list. Okay, so first of all, think that these are all the items. These are all the items, right? So if I ask you what's the data type of this highlighted item, what is the data type of this highlighted item? What should be the data type, right? It is not a data, because over here we have not assigned any inverted commas and all that. So what should be the data type of this highlighted item? It would be a string, right? It would be a string, right? So in order to make it a string in a Python world, you have to declare it the inverted commas, or you can say the single inverted commas or double inverted commas, both will going to work out. Okay, let me do this. Now it makes some sense, right? Now it's making some sense to Python. Now it's making some sense to Python. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, now it's making some sense to Python that okay, this is one item, and this item, the data type of this item is a string, right? Now if I assign it to a variable, suppose if I say where equals to this and this, so it will going to throw me an error. It will say that see, this where is a single element and you're trying to put a lot of items into a single element, right? So you cannot do that. But since this is a list, we have to declare, we have to tell it that this is a list. How we are going to tell this? How we are going to tell the interpreter that it is a list? How we are going to tell the interpreter that this is a string? Interpreter will get to know that this is a string by this inverted commas. Yes or no? Anything that has been enclosed within this opening and the closing inverted commas is a string, right? Similarly, anything that has been enclosed within the opening square bracket and closing square bracket, anything that has been enclosed between the open square bracket and the closing square bracket is known as the list. Now this is a list. Now what the interpreter will say, interpreter will going to treat this whole list as a one value, and we have already seen that a variable can only store one value. That means it is applicable. And now if you see, in though this is one value, it contains a lot of more values, right? So you have to remember that in order to create a list, let me go back to this. You have to mention the item that has been enclosed within the square bracket, opening and the closing square bracket. Is this clear? Is this clear? Give me a confirmation if this is clear to you. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's see the practical example for this. Let me copy the same example, copy, and let's say this is my variable var, and now see, if I say hello and if I store world, okay, now you guys tell me what will going to be the output. What will going to be the output? If I'm going to run this cell, what will going to be the output? Will my code work or it won't? Will it work? Okay, some are saying hello and some are saying error. Okay, let's see. Let me run this part and see. Now it worked. Okay, now if I'm going to print this where, now what do you think? Will it be a hello or will it be a world? Will it be a hello or will it be a world? Tell me, come on. Will it be a hello or will it be a world, or will it be a both? Okay, some are saying hello and some are saying world. Okay, let me run this. Now see, this is a hello world. Now if you see clearly, neither this is hello nor this is a world. If I ask you that is this a string? If I ask you is this a string? Yes or no? Give me a confirmation. Is this a string? Yes or no? Is this a string? No, it is not a string. It is not a string. See, string will going to look like this. If I say where is equals to hello, let me show you. Now see the value. See, this is a string. This is a hello. But if you see over here, this is not a string. This is one data. Now what happened? I am trying to insert two items into one variable, which is against the law. The law says that only one item or one value can be assigned to a one variable, right? When the interpreter sees that, oh, there are two values and it has to be assigned in this variable. So only thing to wrap this two value into one is either use this data structure. By the help of this data structure, you can enclose multiple values to be treated as one value. We have already seen in the list example. Yes or no? Yes or no? We have already seen in the list example that in order to gather or assign multiple values to a one variable, we have to use data structure to do that. Right or wrong? Right. So over here, if you see, the interpreter itself converts all this statement, all this value into a data structure, and this data structure is known as the tuple. We are going to discuss right after the list. Okay, the motive is to explain you that you can only store one value to a one variable. You cannot store multiple value. You cannot store multiple value, right? Over here, when I say hello and world, now what will going to be the response? Either it could be hello or it could be a world, right? It cannot be both at the same time, because these two value cannot be stored in this variable, because this variable has only one capacity, right? So what this variable has done, this variable has seen, okay, there are multiple data, so they have gathered all the data and formed it using the data structure. Now this is one single value. Now this is one single value applied for this one single variable. That's why we use this data structure. Is this clear? Is this clear? Give me a confirmation. Yes or no? Clear or not? Okay. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. So let's discuss about some list. Let me say where is equals to, and this is my list. Okay. Let me find this place. Okay. So let me run this. Now see, though I am having a lot of values, but still, since it is a list, this entire highlighted part will be considered as a single value, and according to the law, only one value will be could be assigned to this one variable. If you see over the highlighted region, that says a 6 item, but the list is stored as this var, right? Now if I'm going to print var, now see, all the values will be printed over here. All the values will be printed over here. Now if I say type of this list, that is known as the var, now it will not going to show me that this list, this all items is a string, so it will not going to show me string. It will going to show me the list. See, the data type of this variable is a list, because this is a list. Is this clear or not? Is this clear or not? Okay. Give me a confirmation. Perfect. Okay. Now the same example that I was teaching you, that over here there are a lot of variables. Now if I want to access this variable, how can we do that, right? Over here, this is a variable. Okay, we have assigned a lot of stuffs in this variable, but suppose I want to access toothpaste. Now how can I do this? In this form, this comes a concept known as the indexing and slicing. Okay, indexing is kind of address. Okay, indexing is a kind of an address. Suppose over here there are a lot of people, right? And I assume that everyone has a different address. Yes or no? Yes or no? Every person has a different address, right? Suppose one of my friend who is staying in Mumbai, right? He gave me an address of Mumbai. So it will never going to happen that if I'm going to his house, I am going to find my another friend who is living in Goa. It cannot happen, right? It can't happen. Yes or no? So same way, this indexing means the address. Okay. So what happens? Suppose if I'm having, let me say hello and say world. Okay. So let me enlarge this. Okay. Now what happened over here? Everything in the Python has called an indexing. So if you want to reach to any part, you have to give its index value, that is known as the address. Okay, and you have to make sure that in Python the indexing starts from 0. What it means? The indexing starts from 0. That means, just taken this way, that counting starts from 0. In Python, counting starts from 0. Suppose if you want to count this, how many letters are there? How are you going to count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then over here, this is also will be counted. Over here, this is a space. Okay, this white space will also be counted. Okay, how you will going to count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and all that, right? But in Python, when I say the indexing starts from 0, Python counts in this way: 0, 1, 2, 3, then 4, then 5. Okay, Python counts in this way. Is this clear? That's what is mean that the indexing from Python starts from 0, right? If I want that this is a string, suppose this is a string, I want this part, I want to access this L. I want to access this cell. How can I tell the Python that, hey, I want to access this cell? I'm going to tell via the indexing, because if you see, all the index values are unique. All the index value are unique. It will never going to happen that if this letter has an index value 3, so any other letter will also going to have the index 3. It will not going to happen, right? So that's why indexing is unique. So it is more precise to use indexing if you want to refer to any part, right? Suppose if I want to refer to this toothpaste, okay, so indexing starts from 0. So that means this item potato will be assigned with the indexing 0, apple with the indexing 1, soap with the indexing 2, cookies with the indexing 3, and toothpaste with the indexing 4, right? In the general term, how we count? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5, right? But since in Python indexing starts from 0, this toothpaste has an index of 4, right? Let's see where and the index, where and 4. Okay, now see, I am getting this toothpaste. I am getting this toothpaste. Where? What is where? Where is the bucket where we have stored all our items, right? And then I want to access those elements that is at the index 4, and 4 only below the index 4 will only going to belong to a single element because indexing are unique. Okay, is this clear? Is this clear? Yes or no? Is this clear? Okay, perfect. Okay, so this how you can easily access that. This how, even though this will going to, where is that? Yeah, this problem has been solved. This problem has been solved. Now you don't have to assign a lot of variables to assign a lot of values. You can easily do this with the help of list. And suppose at some time if you want to access any element, you can easily use the method of indexing to help that. Okay, is this clear? Okay, now comes up to the slicing. Slicing means to chop off, to cut off. Okay, slicing means to chop off or to cut off. That means suppose this is a hello world, right? I only want the phrase that starts with this part till its end. I don't want this hello and this white space. I don't want this hello and I don't want this white space. I only want to print, or I only want to get the information from the element that starts from W and till the end, or at some part, right? So we are going to use the indexing. And we are going to find out the rest part. Okay, suppose I want to say that please show me all the elements, kindly show me all the elements after the index 4. Please show me all the elements after the index 4. If I ask you after the index 4, how many elements are there? How many elements are there? And index 4 is present. Index 4 is present, right? Sorry, index 4 is inclusive. So how many elements are there after index 4, where index 4 is also inclusive? How many elements are there? 2 elements, right? Because I have told you that this this index 4 is an inclusive. That means you are going to include that. So how many elements are there? One will be the toothpaste, another will be the chips, right? So if I'm going to slice it off, for slicing you are going to use this colon. Okay, now see, I am getting this toothpaste and I am getting this chips. Okay, suppose I want to get all the elements from apples from the index 1, okay, 0 and 1 to suppose till toothpaste. Okay, so I am going to say that it will going to start from 1, where 1 is included, where 1 is an inclusive part, right? Then 1, 2, 3 and 4 we have the toothpaste. Okay, now over here I am going to write 4, but the catch over here is that this 1 is inclusive, this 4 is exclusive. This 1 is inclusive, that means this 1 will be included, okay, but this 4 is exclusive. This 4 will not be going to include. Getting this part or not? Yeah, indexing starts from 0. Yeah, is this clear? Right, let me run this. Now see, I am getting apple, soap and cookies, right? That means this apple has the index value 1, but this 4 should be with the index value having the element as toothpaste, right? But since toothpaste is not here, so we can conclude that this part, the starting value is inclusive and the ending value is exclusive. Okay, so in order to include this toothpaste also, you have to increment by 1. That means you have to give the increment index as 5, because 5 will be exclusive, but one index down, that is 4, it will be inclusive. So let me run this, and now see, I am getting from apples till toothpaste. Is this clear? Yes or no? Give me a confirmation. Is this clear or not? Okay, perfect. So this is about the list. Similarly, we have tuple, and this is not only about the list. We have a lot of more things in a list. How you can perform the CRUD operation. How can, you have seen how you can create a list, how you can read a list, but how you can update a list, delete a list, and insert some items at some point. You can easily do that with the list part. Okay, so you have to study about that. Now let's move on to the next part. Next data structure is known as the tuple. Next data structure is tuple. The difference between list and tuple is that list is mutable. List is mutable. Mutable means changeable. You can easily alter the values. That means that over here, suppose over here potatoes, apples and all that happen, right? At some point of time, if I realize, oh, I have by mistakenly written toothpaste over here, I want to change this toothpaste with the item computer. I can easily do that. I can easily update, and I can easily do alter and manipulate the data over here, right? But I cannot do this in tuple. That's why tuple has been considered as immutable. Okay, tuple says that once you put all the data, as in called as a tuple, you can read that data perfect, but you cannot alter the data. You cannot change the data. Okay, no matter what, but you cannot change the data. Okay, and in order to make a tuple, again, the data should be enclosed within the round bracket. Okay, for the list, the data should be enclosed within the square bracket. For the tuple, the data should be enclosed within the round bracket. Okay, so similarly, to make a tuple, let me say tup is equals to, again, let me grab this. This is a list. Okay, in order to make all this a tuple, I'm going to replace all this thing with the round bracket. Let me run this up, and let's check the type. Tuple, and see the type that comes in as a tuple, because all the data has been enclosed in this round bracket. If you want to make changes, you have to perform the typecasting. What is the typecasting? That you change from one type to another. Okay, so if you want to change it, you have to change it from tuple to list, then change it, and then change it back to the tuple if you want to change it. Otherwise, you cannot alter any data in this tuple. Okay, that's why tuple is immutable and list is mutable. Is this clear? Is this clear? Okay, yes or no? Perfect. Let's move on to the next data type that we have in store, is known as the set. Okay, we have the third data type with us, is known as the set. Okay, so in order to make a set, the data should be enclosed within the curly braces. Okay, so you have to make sure that where the data are lying. Okay, and one more special feature about the set is, let me show you an example, and let me ask you, what do you observe? Okay, so this is a list. Okay, let's say this is a 12, 34, 67, 12, 67, and that's it. Okay, this is a list. Let me create this as a set. Let me say this where set, and let me say where list. Okay, so this is a set, this is a set. Let me run this. Perfect. Type of this where set will be a set, right? It is a set, see, and type of this will be a list. Will be a list. Okay, no doubt till here. Let me print the values, and you guys have to tell me the differentiation. What can what can you conclude about this? Okay, so when I say print the list, it has printed all the item of the list, right? Now let me do the same with the set as well. Now you tell me what exactly is the difference. Can you find? Can you spot any difference? Can you spot any difference? Tell me the difference. Tell me the difference. Value can't be repeated in set exactly. That means duplicacy is not allowed. Duplicacy is not allowed. Okay, so that's the feature. You can say it feature or the property or characteristics of a set. Set says that I am only going to include only a single occurrence of an item. If I see over here you are including 12, I'm going to include that. But if it happens that again you are including the same element, okay, that we have already counted or it has already been present, we're not going to allow that to happen. Okay, so you can also say is that set includes the unique elements. Set includes unique element. Okay, let me show you one more thing. Let's say, let me remove this and let me put 34 over here. Let me put 34 over here. Okay, let me run this and let me run this as well. Now let me print this now. Now tell me what next can you conclude. I have replaced this 34. It was in the having the index to 1. I have replaced it from index 1 to 2, and still I am getting the same response. Still I am getting the same output. So what can you conclude? What can you conclude? What can you conclude? Tell me, what can you conclude? Immutable. Okay, sorted. It's a sorted out. Okay, so there's also one difference between the order as well, right? It have by default it sets to the ascending order. Okay, no matter what are the elements are, it already sorted out in the ascending order, and set will going to include the unique elements. That's all about the set. If you want to perform any operation, you can also perform the same operation over here as well using the set. Okay, now the last data structure that we are going to talk about is a dictionary. Okay, last data structure we are going to talk about dictionary. Similarly, we have an Oxford dictionary. The same thing, we have a Python dictionary itself, right? How you find what do you find in a dictionary? Do you find the meaning or do you find the word? Do you find the meaning of the word or do you find the word of the meaning? Tell me. Do you find the meaning in the dictionary or do you find the word in a dictionary? How can you find both? You find a word? No. No. See, in dictionary we find the meaning of a word. We find a meaning of a word. Okay, we don't find the word. We don't find both as well. Okay, it will never going to happen that I am going to give you a phrase that say a uh, wooden pile having suppose having a graphite stick. Okay, so you will never going to find out using this part. You will never going to find out using this part. You say, okay, this is the meaning. I'm going to find the word. What is the appropriate word? You don't find in this way in the dictionary, right? You don't find this way in dictionary. Yes or no? You will never going to find word in a dictionary. You always going to find the meaning in a dictionary. Getting my point? Yes or no? Right? Okay. So I am going to find out with the word pencil. I am going to find out what is the meaning of this word pencil. I am not going to find out that okay, someone has given me that okay, the phrase is a wooden pile having a graphite stick and the answer is pencil. I want to find pencil. It will never going to happen. It will going to take a lot of time if this thing ever happen. If this thing ever happen, it will going to take a lot of time that you will be provided with the meaning and you have to find the word, right? So in dictionary you will be given a word and an identity or a key. You have to find the value of this key. This is a key, right? This is a key and you have to find out the value of the key. What is the value? Meaning of the key. Yes or no? This is the way how the dictionary works, right or wrong? This is the way how the dictionary works. Yes or no? Okay, getting my point or not? Perfect. Okay. So similarly in dictionary, when I say we have a dictionary in Python itself, Python dictionary is exactly the same. It says a key value pair. Python dictionary is a key value pair where you give the key, you give the value, and with the help of a key you can achieve the value. That's it. Okay. In order to declare the data as a dictionary, there are two steps. There are two steps in set, list and tuple. There are single steps, right? All the data should be enclosed within some brackets and braces and all that. In dictionary there are two steps. The first step is that the data should be enclosed inside the curly braces. Okay, that's what makes it a set. This is a set. See, this is a set, right? That's why we have two conditions to follow in order to consider the data as a dictionary. First condition, that the data should be included or should be enclosed within the curly braces. Secondly, that the manner of the data should be in a form of key value pair. That means the data should follow the key value pair, then only you can call it as a dictionary. Otherwise you will going to call it as a set. Is this clear? Is this clear? Give me a confirmation. See, Google is a search engine. Google is a search engine. Google is not a dictionary, my friend. Google is a search engine. Okay, I'm talking about dictionary. Have you heard about some Oxford dictionary or something like that, right? I'm not talking. Google is not a dictionary. It's a search engine. Okay. Is this clear? Is this clear? Okay. Somebody wrote up there that in Google we write the meaning and it gives us a word. So you have to understand, is Google is a dictionary? No, right? Google is a search engine. Perfect. Okay. So similarly, let's move on to the practical implementation. So what happened? That let me take the same example. Let me take the same example from here. Okay. So now what happened, that this is a list, but what happened? I forgot to ask my mom that how much, what will be going to be the quantity of all these products, right? So she told me that okay, you have to bring 10 potatoes, 15 apples and all that. Now I found out, okay, now I have to make it in this form. So the best approach or best you can say a data structure will be a dictionary. But now, is this a dictionary? Is this a dictionary? What is the data type now? Any idea? What is the data type now? Any idea? What's the data type? It's a set, right? It is not a dictionary right now. It is a set, because in order to consider this as a dictionary, first step, that it should the data should be enclosed inside the curly braces. That it is working, okay, it is perfectly fine. But secondly, it should be in a key value pair. But this over here, the data is not following the key value pair, right? Now I am going to make it in such a way that it will going to follow a key value pair. So I am going to say bring me what was the quantity? It was like 15 potatoes. Okay. Next we have bring some 10 apples. Okay. Next, how many soaps do you want? So she told me a dozen. Okay, a dozen of soaps. Cookies, that sounds yummy, so I'm going to take it more. Suppose I'm going to take 5 packets of cookies. I think one toothpaste will be enough for my family, and chips definitely 10 packets. Okay, so now if I'm going to run this up, what's the, oh sorry, over here it should be this thing, and over here this should be the this part, right? Now let me run this up, and now if I'm going to write type of this tuple, now see, it is showing me a dictionary because data is in a form of a key value pair. Yes or no? Over here the key is this and the value is this. Over here the key is this and the value is this. Are you getting this or not? Are you getting this or not? Are you getting this or not? Yes or no? Don't go deeper like some are in kgs or some are in numbers. It's just an illustration to explain you how what is the key and what is the value. Okay, don't go like that example, some are in kgs and some are in numbers. Okay, don't go in this form please. Okay, so like this you have the key and you have the value. This is known as the dictionary. This is how you create a dictionary. Is this clear? Okay, perfect. So this is all about the data structures. Let's move on to the conditional statement. Let's move on to the conditional statements. Okay, we have how much time we have? We have 20 minutes, right? We are going to cover the conditional statements. Okay, so these are some statements. Okay, I can easily find out, okay, these are some statements where we are going to put some conditions, and how the condition is, how exactly a condition looks like. The condition looks like this. If I am going to pass the exam, okay, I am going, let me make it to this thing. Okay, I am going to Goa for a trip. Okay, if else otherwise I am going to cry. Okay, so if you look this phrase very carefully, don't you think that this is a condition? This is a condition. If I'm going to pass the exam, then I'm going to do something. Otherwise, anything after that, I'm going to cry. Isn't this look like a condition? If I'm going to pass the exam, I'm going to Goa. Otherwise, I'm going to cry. That means if anything happens other than that, what is the anything that can happen? I cannot pass the exam. That means I'm going to fail up. I'm going to cry. Isn't this look like a condition? Yes or no? Isn't this look like a condition? Right or wrong? Getting this or not? Yes or no? Okay. So similarly, we have to convert. Let's see how we are going to convert. This phrase into a Python phrase, right? So in Python, similarly we do if, because it's a condition. Condition starts from if. If something happen, I am going to do this. If something else happen, I am going to do this. Otherwise, I am going to do this. This is a simple conditional statement, right? So suppose, let me assign a variable. Let me say this is a variable, and this variable can have only one value. It could be either pass or it could be either fail. Okay, it could be either fail. Okay, so now according to this variable, I am going to make a condition with respect to this phrase, that if I am going to pass, that means if the value of this variable, now I am going to compare it. I am going to compare the value, right? So I am going to use double equal to, and I am going to say pass. Now see what I am going to do. I am saying if var is equals to pass, that means if the value of this var, and what's the value of the var can be, it could either be pass or it could either be fail, or it could be either be fail. Okay, right? So I am going to say that if the value of this var is pass, okay, if I am going to pass the exam, what I am going to do? I am going to go to Goa. Let me add a print statement. I am going to go to Goa. Okay, right? But if it doesn't happen, otherwise, this otherwise is known as the else statement. This otherwise is known as the else statement. Otherwise means that anything apart from this condition, anything apart from this condition, if it's happened, it will going to directly towards this else block. Okay, so this is a block. I'm going to say print cry. So now if you see, I have converted successfully this English phrase. I've converted this English phrase to the Python programming logic. Any confusion in this block? Any confusion in this block? Give me a confirmation. Tell me. Any confusion? Right? Very straightforward. If you want to have a conditional statement, you have to use if, else. Okay? And now another part comes in elif. It's a combination of el, takes the el from else and takes the if from other part. We have introduced a new keyword known as the elif. When do we use this elif? When you have a multiple condition. When you have to use a multiple condition, you are going to use this elif block. How you are going to do this? Let's check this out. Let me say that if I am going to score, more than 80, if I'm going to score more than 80, then I'm going to go for Goa. I'm going to go Goa for the trip. Okay. Next I say if score will be between 50 to suppose 80, I am going to go to let's say Mumbai. Okay. Now if score will be between 40 to 50, I am going to do party. Okay, and anything after that I am going to cry, because below 40 is failed, right? So now over here, if you see, not only one, but we have multiple condition statement. Right? So if you want to use a multiple condition statement, then you have to use the elif. How you are going to use this? See, I am going to say this is a where could have any marks, right? I am going to say if this where will going to have more than marks of 80. Okay, if the value of this where is more than 80, then you are going to go for Goa, right? Now the second statement is also a conditional statement. So for this we are going to use the elif part. We are going to say elif where is between 50 to 80. So I'm going to say it will be greater than 50. Okay, and this where should less than 80. Then what you are going to do? I am going to go to Mumbai. Okay, next again this part I am going to use elif again. I am going to use where it should be greater than 40 and this where should be less than 50. Okay, so what you are going to do? You are going to do party. Okay, so this how you use that. So opening part should be with if. You don't need to repeat if every time. If this, you don't need to repeat that. If all this condition is of a single block, you have to design in this way. It will going to start with if, end with else, and every other condition will going to go to this elif block. Is this clear? Yes or no? Is this clear? Yes or no? Tell me. Is this clear? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, perfect. So let's see some example. Suppose I say where, and this is a where. This is pass. Okay, I'm going to write if where is equals to pass. Okay, then what you have to do? I'm going to go to Goa. Okay, else anything that other than this pass happens. Okay, I am going to cry. So now you tell me what will going to be the output. What will going to be the output? What will going to be the output if I'm going to run this cell? What will going to be the output if I'm going to run this cell? Any idea? Goa. Okay, Goa. Let's say. Perfect. I'm going to go to Goa. Suppose if I'm going to say I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. Okay. Now let me run this. It says cry because it matches up. Is the value of this where variable is passed? It says no. The value is fail and you're comparing fail with pass, which is absolutely false. And if the condition is false, you are not going ahead to the statement, right? So anything that happens apart from this statement, you are going to say cry. Okay. And similarly, you can use multiple if statement inside a block. That is known as the nested conditional statement. Okay, that is known as the nested conditional statement. That means condition in a condition. Okay, let's take this example. You want to get suppose I say pass. Okay, let's take this example. I am going to have two variable 1 and we have variable 2. Okay, this will going to have something. Now in order to get, let me remove this. Okay, now this variable 1 is the attendance. Let me say attendance, and this variable 2 is the project. This variable 2 is project. Okay, now let me write a code form over here. 0 means no and 1 means yes. Okay, now I'm going to design that how you are going to get the certification. How you are going to get the certification. So I'm going to design like this. If the value of this attendance is equals to 1, that means you should be having 100% attendance. Are you having 100% attendance? Yes or no? 1 stands for yes, 0 stands for no. Do you have? Yes, you have. Then you are going towards the next block where I'm asking if you have done your project, if you have submitted your project, yes or no? Yes. Then only you will be getting the certificate. Then only you will be getting the certificate. Otherwise, else print no certificate. Okay, and similarly, let me print this up, copy this up over here. So now if you see, okay, sorry, we have to mention the else part. Else. Okay, now if you see over here, I am using a conditional statement inside a conditional statement. This condition is known as the nested conditional statement. Okay, now in order to get a certificate, what you have to do? You have to have 100% attendance. Do you have 100% attendance? Yes. Have you submitted your project? No, you haven't submitted your project. What will going to be the output? Are you getting the certificate or not? If you have 100% attendance but you haven't submitted your project, are you getting the certificate? Yes or no? Are you getting the certificate? Yes or no? Tell me. No certificate, right? You will not going to get any certificate. Let's say what does Python says. Let me ask to Python. Hey Python, tell me whether the students will going to get the certificate if they have 100% attendance but they haven't submitted the project. No certificate. You will not be getting any certificate. Okay, let's try it another way. What about if the student doesn't have 100% attendance but the student has submitted their project? Will they be getting the certificate? Oops, you are not going to get this certificate. Okay, but what about those students who who will be attending the session from the day 1 and they have 100% attendance and they have also submitted their project successfully? Are they going to get the certificate? Bingo, you all will going to get the certificate, and these are the 2 criteria that you have to complete. Okay, I hope this is very clear to all of you. Now no one will going to ask me how we are going to get the certificate, right? I hope this example was very relatable. Right or wrong? Yes or no? Okay. Is this clear? Perfect. Awesome. So this is all about the conditional statement. This is all about the conditional statement. So one part is left, that is known as the loop part. So we are going to try to cover it tomorrow in the first half, and the second half we are going to start with the machine learning and deep learning in the theoretical manner. What are they, right? So let's move on. Let's check the syllabus. Yeah. Okay, so tomorrow what we are going to do, we will going to start with the loops first. We are going to cover for loops and while loops. Then we are going to discuss a theoretical knowledge of what is the difference between ML and DL, where they are used, and when you have to use that. Okay, so these are some topics for tomorrow. We have partially completed the day 2 part. Okay, so let me share the attendance link with all of you, and you know what you have to do with this attendance link, right? If I'm not wrong. So this is, here you go with your attendance link. Let me ping this in the chat section itself, so you guys can check on the top of the chat section. And I think it was a great session, right? So that's all from my end, guys. If you have any more question, you can go ahead and ask. Okay, and attendance link has been pinged on the right hand side at the top of the chat section. Okay, is this clear? Yes or no? Okay, perfect. Okay, any more questions? Any more questions? No? Okay, I think we are good to go then. Okay, so, okay, no more questions. That's okay, perfectly fine. Okay, okay, so that's all from my end. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in, and have a great time. See you all tomorrow, and have a great evening. Thank you so much, guys. Bye. I don't have any idea about the certificate for those sessions. You have to ask the team regarding the web development. Okay, I don't have that. I don't have any idea regarding that part. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. See you all tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.